Way to go, you sack of potatoes. You're on the ground, crawling around on the field again. And it's at this moment that you should be asking yourself, how the hell did it get to this? At what point in the game did you let Terminators just come down on you and your teammates in this amazing formation and just blow you away? And if I think back just a little bit, I can usually pinpoint a moment where I made the decision that got me to where I am. And it's really easy to make up excuses in a BR game because there are random factors like the armors and the guns. But some people will even be like, I got third partied. But third parties aren't really completely random. You've been shooting in one spot for like the last 30 seconds. What did you think was gonna happen? Is this random? Or does smoke always kill like that?
What? I've never seen that before.
So with that, we're gonna jump into this episode. The biggest part of this game is pressure. Pressure makes a lot more things possible. If you're able to maintain pressure on people, usually they'll lose sight of you or they'll at least respect you more than just running at you with a shotgun. It also gets you into the mindset of putting on constant damage because damage is king in this game. You have to pick out the moments where you want to run away for sure, but if you're going to be running away, you have to be running away with some sort of cover or some sort of ability. If not, you just end up getting shot in the back. You need to be using your cover and then being aggressive through it. Sometimes get caught off guard by people shooting me first and I'd go for the run, and I found that usually actually put me at a disadvantage. My health would be low, they'd start hunting me down, and usually I'd end up dying. I find that as soon as somebody starts engaging me, I think it's worthwhile to turn towards them and start seeing exactly where they are because that's going to affect how you're going to run away. I don't think you should ever just run away blind, and don't give up ground. Every time you find some cover, turn around and start shooting. Ground shouldn't be given up for free. Look at this, Bangalore has some wheels.
Up to airstrike is inside.
So what I'm looking to do is just set up positioning on the window. Maybe I can get a few easy shots. Maybe we can throw in some ordnances. But my teammates went in pretty aggressively without any kind of warning. And the thing is, that does work as a team of 3, but everyone has to be on board and no one really called it out. So now everybody's going in somewhat individually, and that Mastiff will two-shot you.
God.
That fucking just like one shot him.
It was a two-shot.
He's weak.
And he may be weak, but when it's relative to 2 shots to kill me too, I don't really want to do that challenge.
Yeah, I can hear him.
It's coming down.
Leaving the door? Yeah.
He's ready to come out here. Nice.
Good shit.
And that's an example of proper spacing. I see people get over eager, and that's how one guy ends up taking out a whole squad. And if you find that you're one of those people that see your team get gunned down one at a time, it's because you guys are practically henchmen. You guys walk into a fight one at a time so the heroes can just pick you off real easy. So if you want to avoid that, work with your team, but that actually comes right back down to pressure. This clip is about is actually running away. There's a squad coming up on us, and my getaway from there for better positioning ended up getting ran up on by these guys. And everything's going pretty good so far, and I'm thinking he's gonna keep running, but he actually pops back out and starts shooting me. Like, those are good shots. See, he didn't just run from them and keep running towards me. Like, he just came back and started aiming and started shooting at me. That's really important. Even when running away, pressure is really important. Coordinated team doesn't have to run away as much because they understand the importance of pressure, which means that they're able to stand, shoot, maybe take a moment of cover, maybe reload one shield and then pop right back out, because they know the importance of actually having firepower at that point and not so much the health. And that's something you're only going to be able to do with certain teams, though, if you guys are coordinated enough. And I'm not expecting to kill these guys right now. Even if I downed them, I couldn't go and finish them off. There's 2 more guys there. I'm just trying to go for the revive at this point, but the whole point that I'm trying to make is that you can't just walk all over me. You have to respect it so they're not just super aggressive and think that it's going to be an easy kill. Don't forget, these guys don't know you from a hole in the ground. You'd be surprised how much of this game can just be like you, rah, rah, bear, and then I'll go out with a false charge and they'll stand their ground. I'll be like, oh, sorry, I'm actually just going to go this way now. But I swear, every guy who has that white Wraith costume thinks they're a polar bear. They charge in every time. Good, bad, they all do. Right now I'm playing survival mode. It's weird because some people will look at this game and be like, it's a first-person shooter, and they play it like that. They're like, I want engagement. Some people are like, it's a survival game till the end, and they play it like this. They are really close right now.
Just 10 seconds. Tick-tock, says the clock.
If he was a bloodhound, I would be so screwed. And I forget about that all the time, that sometimes when I'm hiding like this, if he was a bloodhound, they could be on top of the rock right now looking down at me and thinking, he's not even worth it, this kid's an idiot. So I have to start thinking about that a little bit more, but it's nice to know that you can hear that ability and you can also see it. I always like that games have tells like that because it does add to the counters. Just like when I knew the guy had a Mastiff, knowing what weapon people are carrying should definitely be affecting how you're engaging if you have that kind of time. Most times if you're up close, you know they're either going to have a shotgun, a wingman, or an R99, right? That's the holy trinity of close quarter combat right now. By the way, I'm dropping him one of my weapons. It makes more sense like this. If sometimes you have a weapon pairing though, that like if I only have a sniper and then I had a shotgun, to give up one of those for the to give away, it's like now I'm pretty useless too in some scenarios. So I'm not always gonna do this, but if I have weapons that at least can hold their own as a single, then yeah, for sure I'll give it to my teammate.
Enemy over there.
It's hard to know what to do with callouts from random sometimes. You don't know if it's real or not. So I'm going to take it semi-serious. We are top 3 right now, and I like the position advantage. That's why I use Pathfinder. I'm just Overwatch right now. Good finish. Oh, there's the Pathfinder. Look at that, it's a mirror matchup. He's also got gold armor. This is when it's time to be aggressive, like he's got to run. I put in good damage. And this wouldn't look as easy even though I end up stumbling here if he would be shooting at me a little bit. He's got to show that he's got some teeth. So what are you, a bunny or a bear? I don't know if he had a slingshot set up. I don't think he had a plan. Which is too bad because he has golden armor. That's a bad way to go. As a Pathfinder, he should have been able to run away. And I'm going to take the positional advantage again. Even though I just got shot from somewhere, I know he's down there, but I'd rather take the positional advantage. And my teammate's a little bit different. I tell him what my plans are. He decides to be more aggressive. I'm like, fine. Because even if he ends up dying, I feel like I have a good shot based on my positioning. Or he could just go shoot him up. That works too. So I want to take this last clip to talk about just general positioning in the last 3, because you never want to be caught in between the last 2 teams. What you want to do is get a power position, which is typically just high ground. And when you start getting into the final circles and everybody has to get there, that starts becoming a really big deal. And my biggest concern right now is this flank road off to the left. So that's what I'm pretty much going to focus on. Because that's not where I want to get ran up by a team right now, because we're pretty sure that there's also a team in front of us. Alright, that's confirmation that there is guys trying to break through this side. With enemies in our front and enemies on our sides, these are your choices. You hang tight, and which is what we're going to do because we do actually have good positioning. We have this high ground. Or you end up having to push aside. And usually the people with the weak positioning will be put on the spot to try to make that happen. So if you think that that's what's going to happen, you need to take the risk and push one side or the other. Try to push the weaker side. If you think there's less guys on one side, or you think you have some sort of positional advantage, whatever it may be, you have to make a decision to end up pushing. And I wanted to show so many more clips in this, but I find that for you to get context, Apex clips end up going really long. And I'm not really into the 15-20 minute videos, but I do like talking about the concepts of BR games, so we're just going to keep doing this as an ongoing series. It's always going to be slightly different, but the main thing is that it's just general concepts. That's how you win BR games, because it's not always one specific scenario that you're going to need to be good at. Like, have you not seen that some guy just used the strategy of getting a bunch of medkits and living in the storm? But the thing that I do want to emphasize so much is the constant pressure thing, because that's what I found has made my gameplay so much better. I'm not as laid back, I want to say. I don't feel as hurt, which is kind of a weird thing. Like when I end up getting shot up, I don't just run. I try to maintain fire and I try to push up. By the way, at the end game, it makes sense to give out things like med packs, Phoenix kits, because there's a good chance that in one of these fights, you're not going to have a chance to use it twice. You would be out of the fight so long in a circle this small, you're usually not going to get that kind of time. By the way, the central theme of this video was just not to be dumb and look back to see where you did wrong, because usually you can pinpoint the moment where you messed up. Here it's about my reload. I did not queue a reload, and it's not automatic in this game. And whenever I pull out a gun and it doesn't have a full magazine, it's the worst, because you need all those bullets. And when I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, I shot it a few times and never reloaded. I just switched guns. Way to go. Bangalore's so good. And I barely use her. Don't underestimate the Mastiff, it'll two-shot you. In a scenario like this, I couldn't be happier with having it in my hands right now. And I can just picture this guy right now thinking, why did I go for the revive? And maybe next time, there'll be a little voice in the back of his head saying, you know what? Maybe you should go shoot the guy that's shooting your buddy, and maybe you could have overwhelmed the one guy that was left. And that's the end of this video, so if you want to help support the channel, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.